Hello everyone and welcome to the F1 corner after the Portuguese Grand Prix 2D race recap. It is pretty windy out here today, so I apologize in advance if you miss some of my word, but let's try facing back to the wind. So Portuguese Grand Prix, that was won. That's nice, I can actually use this as a mirror. Portuguese Grand Prix that was won by Lewis Hamilton, starting from second place, Max Verstappen second, and Valtteri Bottas, who was actually our pole sitter, finishes the podium in third place. So let's go through the event quickly. It was actually a fairly uneventful race, apart from maybe the first 20 laps or so. So at the start, great start from Valtteri Bottas, keeping first position after the first corner. Max Verstappen trying to go on the attack on Lewis Hamilton, but could not make it so. And Sergio Perez quickly passed by Lando Norris, who was on the soft tire. So no big surprises there, but for Perez, it did play a big role in his race since he got stuck behind Norris for a big part of the race and ended up not being able to climb again behind Verstappen. Perez finishing fourth today. But first lap, safety car right at the end of it with our only DNF. Kimi Raikkonen hitting the back of his teammate Antonio Giovinazzi, damaging his car critically and out of the race. Safety car out. At the relaunch, Verstappen makes a move on Lewis Hamilton and managed to pass him. Verstappen takes second place, but quickly is overtook again by Hamilton. Hamilton then goes on to overtake Valtteri Bottas shortly after. This was a very big move, as after that Hamilton pretty much led the race virtually or literally for the rest of the event. As for how Verstappen managed to pass Bottas, well, Bottas did make a few mistakes and Verstappen took the opportunity to go after him as soon as he could. After the pit stops, Bottas had a better pace than Verstappen on the hard tire, and toward the end of the race, less than 10 laps before the end actually, Bottas was about 1.5 seconds only behind Verstappen, but electronic issues on the car, sensor failure actually, meant that Bottas lost a bit of power and could never make it up again. So Bottas finishing in third. Disappointing weekend, we should say, for the Flying Finn, since he was starting on pole and this was his big chance of climbing back into championship contention if he hopes to be in it by the end of the season. This was a big chance for him, and unfortunately it did not capitalize. Win for Hamilton, I'd say a win for Mercedes. It is not that big of a surprise. They looked very, very strong all weekend and really outpacing the Red Bulls through this whole race. There's nothing much more than Verstappen could have done. He tried everything, but it was to no avail. Still second place, only losing 7 points to Lewis Hamilton, so it is a good result overall for him. Further back down the grid, we have in 5th place Lando Norris for McLaren. Good job for him and his teammate Daniel Ricciardo, who was starting in 16th position, managed to climb all the way back up to 9th, so it is a good result overall for Ricciardo considering where he started and the difficulty that he had to face. 9th place, bringing points home for McLaren, who are fighting to be the third team in the championship this season. Charles Leclerc, 6th, also a good job for him, making the most out of that car as he is used to. Sadly for his teammate Carlos Sainz, who stopped early in the race, he had tire issues toward the end and could not manage to finish in the point. pretty much was a sitting duck to everyone coming around him, Sainz finishing no better than 11th. The team that surprised everyone this weekend, Alpine Renault, double point finish, Esteban Ocon 7th, Fernando Alonso 8th. They were looking strong since FP1 on Friday, and they were also during the race. Alonso starting 13th on the grid, climbed back all the way to 8th, which is a pretty good result considering that Alpine have been underperforming since the beginning of the season so far. Esteban Ocon also 7th place, pretty good on his side, so it's a nice grab of points for Alpine Renault, and hope they will be very happy about that. AlphaTauri, a bit of a disappointment for this weekend. Pierre Gasly only 10th, despite starting in the top 10. It is, it was a tough race for AlphaTauri, both for Gasly and Yuki Tsunoda, who after issues on the opening laps, Tsunoda fell at the back of the grid and could only manage to finish 15, sadly. AlphaTauri, a team that is currently fighting to be 4th or 5th this season in a championship, coming out with only 1 point. This is gonna hurt them. Another disappointment for Aston Martin. Sebastian Vettel was starting in the top 10, but both cars finishing out of the points. Vettel 13th, Stroll 14th. There was, again, also for them, nothing they can do. During the race, they had no pace at all, which was very surprising when we saw what they did in qualifying, especially Vettel. And, it is also surprising the fact that Vettel had the car with no upgrades, while Stroll had the upgrades for the weekend. And it is Vettel that got the best of Lance Stroll. So question marks for Aston Martin. They will go back to the factory wondering what happened today. Good result for Alfa Romeo. Yes, we have to give them credit for that. 12th place for Antonio Giovinazzi. Kimi Raikkonen, the only DNF of the day on lap 1, as I mentioned, but Giovinazzi 12, that is pretty good. That's pretty much what we've seen also since Imola and even since Bahrain. They have a car that can fight in the close to the top 10, and with the right conditions, they could actually be fighting for points. Like we saw in Imola, they were so close of getting championship points, if not for a penalty to Kimi Raikkonen. So Giovinazzi 12th. They will be happy with that, and Giovinazzi also still trying to secure a seat for 2022. Nothing is confirmed in his case. And then at the back we have the Williams and the Haas. Williams were hoping for better with George Russell starting 11th, but according to what they said on the radio, the Williams was literally undrivable as soon as they got close to anyone else. So there was nothing he could do, not able to overtake because that car was behaving so hectically. And this is a problem we know for Williams. The car, as soon as it's in turbulent air, tends to not work properly. It is an issue that they will have to fix if they wish to make up ground this season, which I'm not sure they will, since the regulations are changing for 2022. So I would bet on the Williams staying pretty much the way it is for this season. But watch out for next year. And also, let's give a big shout out, big credit to Mick Schumacher, who finishes in front of Nicolas Latifi. The Haas was not the slowest of the slowest this weekend, it seems. Mick Schumacher finishing in 17th place in front of Latifi, who was 18th. The young man, son of Michael Schumacher, is running quickly, and it is a small win for the Haas team that we know is gonna suffer probably throughout the whole season. thank you for watching, guys. Remind you of our winners: Lewis Hamilton in front of Max Verstappen and Valtteri Bottas. Please smash the like button, subscribe to this channel so that you do not miss any update regarding the whole Formula One season and news that are coming soon. Thank you for watching, everyone. It is a pretty nice day here in Montreal, as it was in Portugal today. And on that note, I will see you next week for the Spanish Grand Prix in Barcelona. Have a nice day.